I help so many people, and them same damn people turn fake. I admit it was so hard to focus. I didn't go to classes. I admit that I dropped out of school. I admit that I wasn't that cool. I admit I just feel like retiring. Admit I just don't feel like trying. But all my real niggas around me keep telling me, Kels, fuck that, you gotta keep climbing. I admit it, I did. I done fuck with a couple of fans. I admit I'm a gift and a curse. I admit that I don't go to church. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I got so many flaws. Told so many lies to these bras. Blew so much money, pop so many bottles. Yeah, I fuck a bitch just because. Nigga, I had a hell of a day, but I admit I was in my own way. I admit I had my mama crying over me. What else can a nigga say? I admit I can't spell for shit. I admit that all I hear is hits. I admit I couldn't read the teleprompter when the Grammys asked me to present. I admit I love God, but wait, it's so much temptation, but wait. Admit to the drinking and smoking too much, but it helped me get through the day. Won't say no names, I'm not a snitch, but one night at the Ritz, I did some shit I shouldn't have did. Went and fucked my niggas big. I admit that I did. I fucked my girlfriend's best friend. Yeah, I topped that in back of my Benz. I admit I'm sorry for my sins. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I admit it, I did it. Yeah. I admit I trust people too much. Too much. I admit I can't say such and such, but my lawyers told me settle this, even though it's bullshit. Kelly, protect your career. All these people in my ear. I admit I've been tempted by drugs. I admit that I just need a hug. I admit the devil talk to me sometimes, but the devil's not who I trust. I've been fucked by so many damn managers. Why they push me out front of these cameras? All this music got engaged them, and now they play me like a fucking amateur. I got a life, yeah. I got a right, yeah. Cancel my shows, that shit ain't right. How they gon' say I don't respect these women when all I've done is represent? Take my career and turn it upside down, cause you met I've got some girlfriends. Hell with this record deal, it ain't worth this shit for real. Ain't seen my kids in years. They try and lock me up like Bill. How much can a nigga take? How much can a nigga break? Just wanna do my music, stop stressing me. Please just let me age gracefully. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. They took my gift and they blind me. Where in the fuck is my money? Now here come this big ass conspiracy. I still got my fans, that's a blessing. Listen to heaven, just stay on my grind, and that's 24/7. And I know my mama Joanne is smiling down on me. I put that on reverend. Been a grown man since age 11. Man on the guap since 7. Rest in peace to my homie Kevin. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I'm a freak. Used to go to strip clubs every week. But who these niggas tryna say I am? Man, I'm not, and I put that on chief. I admit I fuck with all the ladies. That's both older and young ladies. But tell me how they call it pedophile because of that shit, that's crazy. You may have your opinions, entitled to your opinions. But really, am I supposed to go to jail or lose my career because your opinion? Yeah, go ahead and stone me. Point your finger at me. Turn the world against me. But only God can mute me. I admit that I fired some people. I admit that I hired new people. I admit that those people I fired on my mama was crooked ass people. I admit that I don't own my music. I admit that I will own my music. Want it back, but they don't wanna do it. What the fuck, nigga, I wrote that music. I did that bump and grind, I did that 12 play, I did that fed up, I changed the damn game. So I deserve me a fair play. So put some respect on my damn name. Now Wendy Williams mad with me, but I ain't never offer her no drink. But I admit that she asked me, can I get a little Hennessy? Then we both turned off our phones. We drink, I smoke, we talk. And I admit that I told it all, from my good points to my faults. She said, what about Aaliyah? I said, love. She said, what about the tape? I said, hush. I said, my lawyer say don't say none, but I can tell you I've been set up. I admitted how ever since the first day, that without knowing I signed my publishing away. I admitted I was young and caught up, so blind, yeah. Said I had dyslexia, couldn't read all them contracts, yeah. And now the truth in this message is I'm a broke-ass legend. The only reason I stay on tour is cause I gotta pay my rent. I never thought that it would come to this, to being the most disrespected artist. So I had to write a song about it, cause they always take my words and twist it. Believe me, it's hard to admit all this, but I'm in my feelings about this shit. But I had to set the fucking record straight. So I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I love Steve Harvey, John Legend and Tom Joyner. They're doing good in their lives right now. Why would they wanna tear down another brother? Women show black men some love, cause black men, we go through enough. How can we get up off the ground when we steady tearing each other down? I admit that the devil is busy, and some people beside me ain't with me. I admit that I'm gonna do this music up until the Lord come get me. Now, I admit a family member touched me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. From a child to the age 14, yeah. While I laid asleep, took my virginity. So scared to say something, so I just put the blame on me. Now here I am and I'm trying my best to be honest, cause there's forces out there trying to keep me from being an artist. I admit I'm at rock bottom, and this shit has rocked my mind. I'm calling on my hood, come walk by my side. They don't want me to shine. Women's group, my God. Now don't get it twisted, I do support them, but why they wanna bring down the art? Damn, this is breaking my heart. Cause from fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, I'm a part of the music culture. Spotify took me off their playlist. I admit that I've been underrated. I'm not convicted, not arrested, but drag my name in the dirt. All this work to be successful, and you abandon me cause of what you heard. I admit I am not perfect, I never said I was perfect. Say I'm abusing these women, what the fuck, that's some absurd shit. They brainwashed, really? Kidnapped, really? Can't eat, really? Real talk, that shit sounds silly. And if you really, really wanna know, her father dropped her off in my show and told his boy to put her on the stage. I admit that she was overage, I admit that I was feeling her, and I admit that she was feeling me. I admit that that's just some shit that come with being a celebrity. I ain't chasing these ladies, no. These ladies are chasing me, yeah. And I'm only saying all this shit cause how they tryna play me, yeah. I admit that this is no disrespect to the parents, but this is my advice to you cause I'm also a parent. Don't push your daughter in my face and tell me that it's okay, cause your agenda is to get paid and get mad when it don't go your way. I know y'all look at me like I don't go through things, but I'm human. I know it's hard sometimes, but try to keep in mind that I'm human. Fuck all the fortune and fame, forget the name, I'm a human. I can't believe all the under the table shit they doing. I'm tired of fingers pointed at me, I'm tired of all this weight on me. I'm tired of everybody wanting a piece of me. Shit, I'm not an ATM machine. What do I do when I can't do what I do? How can I win if I can't win with truth? Got a couple of dead homies that I promised I would make it out this shit. And I know that God's hands is on me, nigga. I'm gonna make it out this shit. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I claim it. The storm's over. I admit I talked to Miss McGlynn. FYI, that's my second mother. I admit that I asked her, how am I gonna get the world off my shoulder? She said, son, don't you lose it. Sometimes you gotta go through it. They can say what they say, but at the end of the day, they cannot deny your music. Cause your music has touched people. It inspired all people overseas, everywhere. Don't worry, don't care, cause the anointing is on you. And that's why these haters is at you. So just keep on doing you, baby. You don't have to give these fools an explanation. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. What's the definition of a cult? What's the definition of a sex slave? Go to the dictionary, look it up, let me know, I'll be here waiting. Now I admit I got some girls that love me to pull their hair. And I admit they love me to talk dirty when I pull their hair. Yeah. Some like me to spank them, and some like to get brainy. And what some of these girls want is too much for the radio station. Look, I'm just a man, y'all, not a monster or beast. But I admit there are times when these girls so fine I'll chill at a nigga for a week. Now I admit I love Hugh Hefner, and through the years supported Hugh Hefner. But when he left this world he had a million girls, but we gon' always love Hugh Hefner. To Jim C. Regardless or whatever your name is. You've been trying to destroy me for 25 whole years. Writing the same stories over and over and over again. Off my name, you done went and made yourself a career. Well, guess what? I pray for you and your family and all my other enemies. I'm not gonna let y'all steal my joy. I'm just gonna keep on doing me. Now I don't know what else to say except I'm so falsely accused. Tell me, how can you judge when you never walked in my shoes? So easy to mess up someone else's life through social media. The devil in disguise. I admit I miss my brothers, but I admit they wasn't acting like brothers. Yeah, we've had our differences, but you don't turn on your brother for nothing, for no one. Nada. Mama Joanne is watching. She must be turning over in her grave. Yeah. I admit I had to borrow a couple of M's from the label. All these hits out, but I couldn't put food on the table. I was told I had to sell my cars. I was told I couldn't get a loan. Said I owed 20 million to the IRS and they was coming to get my home. I admit I was feeling stupid standing in the Homewood Suites. Sipping Hennessy, trying to figure out what happened to me. There was so much going through my head, cause I knew that something wasn't right. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but my spirit had better eyes. It told me what it saw, and it scared the shit out of me. It said get rid of them all, it's nothing but vultures around me. I admit that I love my fans for all the push and support they've shown. I admit if it wasn't for them, I would've never stayed strong. Now I'm not tripping on all of these rumors, that don't bother me. And I'm not paying attention to these haters, that don't bother me. But what blows me is when certain people turn phony. They say, Rob, I got your back, Rob, you the man, but they really doubting me. Bitch, you know who you are. Bitch, I bought you a car. Bitch, you stayed at my crib. I loved you with all my heart. Now I don't like to brag when it comes to me, but I've given back to the community, from the non-profits to the charities. But of course you never hear that about me. To them niggas that drink my liquor and smoke my stogies.
You know,
how come you ain't on Facebook taking up for me when you're around me most of the day? And you know that I'm a good brother. Always got your hands out, it ain't no doubt that y'all niggas ain't nothing but blood suckers. Plus, y'all ain't bringing nothing to the table. Yeah, nigga, and you know it's real talk. Taking pictures with me for your Instagram, but when I need you, you're quick to get lost. Robert J and Joanne, my kids, what you hearing out here about that? Guys, I'm sorry for this.
ACP, do you see this?
If it ain't official Dana J, Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it.
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all, oh my Lord. Didn't it rain? Didn't it rain? Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all? Didn't it all? Oh my Lord. Didn't it rain?
You can't run from it. You can't deny it. You can't pass it off. It's your call. God knew what he was doing. He knew who he was calling. And he expertly and intricately detailed every aspect of your life, your being, your persona, your psyche, your physicality, everything about you, from the texture of your hair to the color of your eyes to the way that you laugh to the fingerprint on your thumb. Everything is connected to your calling. And until you walk into the fullness of the thing that you were created for, you will find yourself frustrated. You're called.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm so sorry, I can't imagine what y'all must be going through. Every day it's something about me, my God, it must be killing you. I promise there'll be better days. Just keep walking straight. I know you must be worried, but just know that I'm okay. For me, things has gotten rough. Right now I can't say too much, but for y'all I will stay tough. Daddy just needs y'all to trust and believe in me. I admit that I've told the truth, and I'm still not free. Still won't hate me, they still won't stone me, still won't chain me. I think they won't kill me. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
No disrespect to Chi-Town, my home, but we've gotta learn how to support our own. I admit that my heart cries for my city, cause we're losing young lives in the city. Instead of judging me, y'all should be using me to help these kids, raise them out of depression and poverty. Now I'm not saying I'm no savior, but I could be an inspiration. This is an invitation. Man, I admit I go through so much day to day. Got 23 lawyers, 3 or 4 managers. What am I doing? Show me the way. The only thing I have left is my voice. And now I have to use it for my protection, because they left me no choice. See, my work has nothing to do with my private life. So stay the fuck out of my business and tend to your own damn life. So go ahead, say what you wanna say about who I wanna date, but you won't say that shit to my face, cause you know it ain't shit to say. Next nigga bring me some dumb shit, it's gonna be a misunderstanding, cause niggas that listen to dumb shit are niggas that be on that dumb shit. They need a life cause they ain't got no life, so they always conjuring up dumb shit. Blocking my path, they don't know the half and salt, they make an assumption. Since when do assumptions cost a man his whole career? Found guilty when you're innocent is the only test I fear. There is one thing that's for sure, and I wanna make this shit clear. I done lived my voice and represented my country for 31 fucking years. Damn it, I admit.
Let's go.
Wow. It's Sean. You ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this. You ain't fucking with me. There's something going on. I'm a one-on-one. Don't get on me, twin. Wow. It's Sean. You ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this. You ain't fucking with me. There's something going on. I'm a one-on-one. Don't get on me, twin.
Yep. Back at it. I don't know what's going on with this. Hold on. There we go.
Wow. It's Sean.
I ain't say play that again. See how hard hit y'all? There you go. Look. So can y'all hear me out there? That's how I want this joint. I want it just like this. Can y'all hear me out there? If y'all can hear me out there, give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. There you go. Nah. There you go. Good. Can y'all hear me out there? Hey, shout out to everybody that's in the chat, on the Dream Team chat, man. I cannot call all y'all by name, but I'm going to say mass. What's up, everybody? Love every last one of y'all. I do see some folks in the building like Mama Mary, Mama T0307, Miss Lady T, Miss Hot Pink, EJ, Willie. Shoot, all of y'all, man. Real quick. I must say this, and I have to say this. I gotta say shout out to the Dream Team. Hey, Miss Franklin, what up, lass? What's going on? I gotta say shout out to the Dream Team, man. A lot of y'all don't know what happened yesterday, but I was supposed to do 2 lives yesterday. I was supposed to go and do one with my barber, and I was supposed to do one with y'all. I was supposed to do this one for the R. Kelly joint. Shout out to Dennis Byron. And what's going on, Dennis B? Shout out to Hits Digital Radio in the building. My brother Dre is in the building. Shout out to all of the great content creators. Y'all go follow Dennis Byron, man. Y'all go follow Hip Hop Hip Hop Uncensored. Y'all go follow Hip Hop Uncensored, and y'all go follow Dennis Byron page. Y'all go follow Hits Digital Radio, man. Dre needs y'all, man. Go, man. Listen, them brothers be bringing content, man. I don't care how you feel about whatever or what you heard about whoever. Go follow them brothers, but they give good content. And also, let me give you a word of wise. Just because you heard something about somebody, stop going off of what people say, because the people that you're hearing it from could be the problem. Let that sink in. Hip Hop Inquirer, that's what it is. Hip Hop Inquirer, not uncensored, but it's Hip Hop Inquirer. But let that sink in. Stop following people that always got something negative to say about other folks. Because it could be them that's the problem. Ask yourself this question. If you seen them with somebody or bragging somebody or talking good about somebody, and then immediately they flipped and they want to talk dirty about the person, ask them this question. Ask them this question. And there's 2 questions and you ask. Why are you doing this? Were you provoked? Now, if you was backstabbed or provoked, yes, you have a right to speak out. The next thing, and you ask them is, are you trying to throw dirt on somebody's name because you were the one that snaked them? I'm just saying. These are questions that people scared to ask. But however, I'm going to be dropping a series of pictures and videos. Y'all going to see a lot of people have hit me about Dre. Dre is in the chat. If y'all the ones that hit me, y'all ask Dre for his email. And trust me, y'all ask him. Y'all ask me, do Dre cook? Yes, he do cook. And you ask me, do he direct videos? Yes, he do direct videos. You ask me, can he really produce? Yes, he can produce. You ask me, can he really write? Yes, he can really write. But I'm tired of asking those questions. Dre right there in the chat. Ask him. I know firsthand. But there you go. Ask him. That's how we get all this stuff, edged out and it don't be no more third parties. DeJuan is in the building. Shout out to DeJuan. Voice of rural America. Yes. BKP is in the house. Bryant. Know It All. Pritchett is in the building. Had a great time with him yesterday. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm making moves. Do not lose surface on what I'm doing. I'm making moves. I'm rubbing elbows with the higher ups because I have an ultimate bigger agenda. My agenda is not to be on YouTube all the time talking about what I don't like and talking about who I don't like and then bringing y'all commentary about what's going on and giving y'all my point of view. No, I got bigger dreams, bigger hopes, bigger. I got bigger everything. That's how my whole thing is going. Bigger, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. All right. I said that, Voice of Royal America, love you back. Wait a minute, Sparkle in the building. What's going on, Sparkle? I got Sparkle in the building. How you doing, Sparkle? What's going on? I must say this real quick. Dream Team, without y'all, I wouldn't be going live today, so I want to say thank you. And the reason why real content creators, not the scammers, but the reason why real content creators tell y'all it's a box at the bottom of the screen that got a $sign in it, you can go ahead and hit that super chat, and that's for the channel, or hit the Cash App that's going across the screen. And the reason why we doing this is because of what happened to me yesterday. I was going live from one of my computers, and the sound card went out. So I had to go get the sound card replaced. And due to the super chats and the Cash Apps that the Dream Team have been sending, I went to that account. I had to go buy another sound card. I had to replace it and have it put in. And now I'm coming to you live today. And we're going to talk about this thing. And we're going to talk about the screw job of Robert Sylvester Kelly. But before we go there, I got to ask you a question. Chilling for the early bird. Okay, cool. So
something went wrong. Please try again.
Okay, Google, stop.
Something went wrong.
Okay, Google, stop. See, Google act like Alexa. Sometimes it's bipolar. I'm gonna ask this, and before I get into this R. Kelly stuff, real quick about the political stuff. I I appreciate you so much, EJ. Appreciate you so much. Nothing but love, brother. I got a question. With so much stuff going on in America, they say J6 was an insurrection, right? But they say January the 6th was an insurrection.
Something went wrong. Please try
Right?
again.
But they say January the 6th was an insurrection. That's what they say. But I just want to show you this real quick. And before I get into this R. Kelly stuff. Real quick. I'm going to hit this and I'm going to miss it. If you really want me to go in depth on it, and you're going to have to catch me on Rumble. They have stormed the White House. They have stormed the White House.
So let's go to.
Shout out to Lou Valentino for dropping that footage for me, but we about to get into it. So go get your snacks real quick, because we got 14 pages. Let me go ahead and take these oxtails off the oven. I'll be right back. This is crazy. Hold on. All right, there we go. Let's get down to it. Shout out to everybody that's here. Thank y'all for holding on for a second. Now we about to get into this joint real quick. Real serious. We going to get into it. All right? Let's see. Turn it up a bit. There we go. It says United States Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. Now, as I've been talking to y'all about it, I got a question. When you catch it and you know what's going on, you can put it out there. Now, I'm going to ask y'all this question, and before we go any further, did the district court get this right? Are they telling the truth about who they are right here? Just put yes or no in the chat. If they telling the truth about who they are, just say yes or no. And if they telling the truth about who he is, right here, just put yes or no. All right? West Coast Bells, what's up? I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. EJ, I knew you was on it. It's a appeal from the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois' Eastern Division. Okay? So, argued February 22nd, 2024, and decided April the 26th, 2024. Pay close attention to time dates. Timelines tell you everything. My question is, how is this possible? If it was argued February 22nd, 2024, and decided April 26th, 2024, something don't sound right. What up, J-Rock? And what I mean by that is, how Chicago come before New York? I'm going to ask you again. How Chicago come before New York? Oh, but don't pay me no attention. Let's go. Before Skies, Chief Judge, and Ripple and St. Eve Circuit Judges. Ooh. St. Eve Circuit Judge, for years, Robert Sylvester Kelly abused underage girls. Listen, St. Eve is the circuit judge who said for years Robert Sylvester Kelly abused underage girls by employing a complex scheme to keep victims quiet. He long evaded consequences in recent years, though those crimes caught up with him at last. But Kelly, interposing a statute of limitations, defense thinks he delayed the charges long enough to elude them entirely. The statute says otherwise, so we affirm his conviction. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I want y'all to look at what's going on. Hold on. I want y'all to see what's going on.
Now we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
Hey Chris, I don't want no issues, bro.
Like, yo, these things got a mind of their own. Hold on, because I'm about to show you something. I'm about to show you something. This is why I say what I say. Be very careful of the company that you keep. Now, you see what the chief judge just said, right? But the main man that's been behind this says the settlement factory that kept R. Kelly's accusers quiet. Some of the women testifying against the R&B star were once represented by Susan E. Loggins, who negotiated payouts with Kelly's lawyers in exchange for her client's silence. Okay, so now that we got that there, we also know that in trial it came out that Robert ain't know half the stuff that Daryl McDavid and them was doing. So the payouts was new to him. And then when he sat back and told y'all that his lawyers told him, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to just go ahead and take care of this. I'm going to pay this out. He ain't think nothing else of it. But what's troubling is that a circuit judge by the name of St. Eve wrote this opening. A circuit judge wrote this opening, which lead me to believe that she's one of the ones that been hating R. Kelly for a while. At the end of the day, hey, Stephanie, who got unalived? Where in the world? Susan Loggins is in Florida. Which lead me to believe that this is a bias situation from day one. Because if you can write an opening like this, then you crazy. But let's look at it. Background. The conduct underlying Mr. Kelly's conviction dates to the late 1900s and early 2000s. In those days, he worked in the music industry, primarily as a singer. Kelly sometimes worked with a singer called Sparkle. The two were also romantically involved. The pair were not exclusive. To the contrary, Sparkle seems to have introduced Kelly to her teenage niece, starting Kelly along the years-long process of grooming the young teenager. The niece, who had her own interests in a recording career, goes by Jane in this case. Oh, I'm going to rip this apart. I see it coming. She, like other victims discussed below, used a pseudonym at trial. When Jane was 13 or 14 years old, she started visiting the Chicago studio where Kelly and Sparkle worked. Stop. Now, the district court or the appellate court is saying when Jane was 13 or 14, right? But at court, they were saying that she was 12. So let me ask this question. Either Jane don't know her storyline, or the appellate court just ain't give a hell about the storyline and just wanted to say, okay, he's guilty. Or Leavenworth didn't give a damn about them lying in court on this man. Now, am I saying that Robert Sylvester Kelly is a saint? Fuck no. Excuse my French, but I got to keep it a buck. He did some things wrong. What he do? I don't know. But this right here ain't it. And I'm going to tell you why I say it ain't it. Because they sat back and they predominantly charged him with stuff that he was already freed from. And they threw everything against the wall and said something was going to stick. Because if you remember, the original charge to this was obstruction to the 2008 case. Well, when it came out that he did not obstruct anything, he didn't do anything. Oh. So now we can't charge him for that. Well, Jane, was that you on the tape? Why the appellate court didn't look at the fact that the tape was not even admissible per the government? They said we can't even play these tapes and we can't even authenticate these tapes. So we don't know. Judge Leavenworth said, well, if she say that's her, then we're going to take her testimony. But hold on, Judge. Didn't the government entice, induce, coerce a supposed to be victim? See, this is why I can't get on stuff like this, because y'all know I'm going to bring out stuff that folks done forgot about. I'm going to bring about stuff that folks don't even know. But listen, if we're going to be honest and if we're going to keep it real, right? If the government, now I'm asking y'all ladies out there, along with y'all fellas, let's keep it real. If the government come and say, we got your baby daddy, we got your baby mama, we gonna take care of you for the rest of your life. We just need you to say, this is you on a tape being violated. First of all, we gonna give you immunity because we know you told the truth in the beginning. But we want to convict this nigga So with that being said, we're going to start off and show you that we real, boss baby. We're going to give you a lifetime Section 8. Well, we know you can't stay in Chicago, so we're going to give you lifetime Section 8 wherever you want to go. Oh, in California, in LA, in a good part. Okay, cool. We're going to give you and your family again. We're going to come back and show you that we real and we mean what we say, boss baby. So we're going to give you a lifetime supply of food stamps. And since you're going to LA, and we're going to start you off at $2,500 a month. Because we know you got a little baby. And to sweeten it up, if you say that was you, we got $20 million that we going to take from this nigga and give it to you. Which one of y'all, after hearing that, is going to say that's not me on that tape? And I'm going to keep it real. I'm just going to expose the layers. Which one of y'all are going to say that's not me after hearing all that? I know y'all not going to sit back and say, well, Dana right. He got a point. Nope. Y'all not going to do that. You know what y'all going to do? Yeah, he got a point there. But I don't want to say nothing in the chat because, people might look at me wrong. Facts. Hey, Tiff. So it says, when Jane was 13, okay, we got past that. Then it says, she started visiting the Chicago studio where Kelly and Sparkle worked. Sparkle encouraged Jane to form a bond with Kelly. As part of that plan, one day she advised Jane to sit on Kelly's lap, rub his head, and ask him to be her godfather. Jane complied, and Kelly agreed to take on the role. Now, I got a question. Miss, whoever this judge is, Saint Eve, what they did, and I'm going to make Jennifer Bonjean work light for her right now. They took everything that the prosecution said and rewrote it. And didn't take none of what was proven in court for Kelly's vindication into consideration. As part of that plan, one day she advised Jane to sit on Kelly's lap, rub his head, and ask him to be her godfather. Jane complied, and Kelly agreed to take on the role. In 1996, Kelly began taking advantage of his relationship with Jane. He started with explicit phone calls. Then, when Jane was 14, Kelly began subjecting her to oral sex. Stop. If you go back and look at what the paperwork say, the paperwork say at 14, and this is what Jane said, at 14, we begin having phone sex. At 15, we begin having oral sex. At 16 and a half and 17, that's when we had intercourse. That's what she said. However, and I'm paraphrasing, because y'all know how the YouTube streets are. Oh, Dana said this and this is what it say. I'm paraphrasing. So then when Jane was 14, Kelly began subjecting her to oral sex. That escalated to intercourse by age 15. The abuse continued throughout Jane's teenage years, and all the while Kelly memorialized his misconduct in a series of video recordings. Hold on. How do you know this if y'all couldn't see the video recording? For much of this time, Jane had a close friend, Pauline, who would sometimes visit Kelly's home. On one such visit, she discovered Kelly abusing and undressed Jane. Kelly claimed he was checking Jane for bruises and then pressured Pauline to join in. Kelly proceeded to abuse both girls together and would continue to do so for years, often calling both to his studio and frequently recording these encounters. When the victims were 16, Jane discovered that Pauline had been seeing Kelly without Jane present. This spelled the end of Jane and Pauline's friendship. Excuse me. But Kelly continued his abuse of both girls, maintaining sexual contact with Pauline until after she finished college. Around that same time, Kelly also groomed a girl named Nia, whom he had met while on tour in Atlanta. What? She was 15 then. He gave her an autograph that included his phone number. Now, wait a minute. Now, we all know Rob don't do nothing like that. But okay. Later arranging for her to attend his concert in Minnesota. When I tell y'all, this is how I can tell you what's going on. This is how you know the government never looked at what Bonjean put in play for R. Kelly. And now I'm going to give you another smoking gun. Since Pauline's supposed to have been the Minnesota girl, right? Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. Where the real Minnesota girl come and play at? Could it have been they knew that the real Minnesota girl or lady was a smoking gun and uncontrollable? That's why they didn't bring her into federal court, and that's why she used her own lawsuit into state court. Now let's find out if Prado and Nia story are the same. Now, if their story is the same, which I can tell you it pretty much is, now we know the government took Prado's story and gave it to Nia. Now, Kelly put Nia up in a nearby hotel, and the morning after the show, visited her room and sexually abused her. This is a bold-faced lie. And I'm going to ask y'all again. This is pre-9/11. Do anybody know of any minor that traveled from Atlanta or any other major airport, right, to go to another city with no chaperone and no ID and only a passcode? I need y'all to put the answer to that in the chat. Do anybody know any minor that traveled from one major city to another major city with no ID, no chaperone, and only a passcode? I'll wait. I'll wait for this one. Do anybody know? So, the next summer, when Nia was 16, she arranged to stay with family in Chicago and met Kelly twice at his studio. Kelly fondled her both times. How do you know that Kelly fondled her both times? The government identified more abuse involving two other underage girls, here called Brittany and Tracy. Brittany was friends with Jane and Pauline. Her story closely resembles Pauline's. Now watch this. Let me ask you this question. How can you have a story that resembles both? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. let's take Puff Daddy for a second. You have multiple victims in Puff Daddy's case, but none of their story are just alike. You have some variations and you have some, okay, I can identify with this, but none of their stories are just alike. Why is everybody's story in R. Kelly case just alike? That's what I want to know. Then it says down to the frequent group sex on camera. Tracy met Kelly through an internship and suffered abuse at Kelly's studio. Okay, now watch this question. Watch this question. If Kelly got acquitted of this, why is the government putting this into his guideline sentence and to be sentenced for two? And then when Bon Jane break it down and say something about it, the government or the appellate court come back and reiterate the same thing, not knowing that Robert was acquitted of that charge. Now, here's a question I got to ask you, and this goes for Chicago and New York. Since when have the appellate court been too lazy to look at the facts of the case? Hey, Leah, when have the appellate court been too lazy to look at the facts of the case? He was acquitted of this, but they making it seem like he's a demon. Then it says some years after Kelly's abuse of these young girls began, Illinois law enforcement officials took an interest in Kelly. Their efforts culminated in a 2008 criminal trial for similar conduct Kelly alleged committed against different victims. Stop. This is where they lying at. Because in 2008, it was behind Jane, a.k.a. Rashona Landfill. So how they going to say that Illinois law enforcement officials took an interest in Kelly? Their efforts culminated in a 2008 criminal trial for similar conduct, when it's the same conduct that was alleged and it wasn't nothing there. Of course I know why you're there, Leah. And you know what's going on. So it says that jury acquitted Kelly. But before they said that, they says Kelly allegedly committed against different victims. So they sitting there and lying. I never seen an appellate court that will lie like this. Now, if he guilty about something, if he did it, okay. But to sit there and lie about this is crazy. Then it says that jury acquitted Kelly. In the lead up to that trial and afterward, Kelly and others worked to keep his abuse under wraps. They have agreed in court that was a lie. He was acquitted of that. That's where the obstruction comes from. And then they say, for example, Kelly's production company cut checks to Jane's father before and after in the 2008 trial. Hold on. He was on R. Kelly payroll. Rob had albums come out that Greg played for, so he had to pay him. Come on, man. Stop. And going back to 2001, Kelly's associates had worked to recover some of Kelly's videotapes, hiring private investigators and paying off third parties who possessed the tapes. Twice the group paid $200,000 or more in cash for tapes. Hold on. Why did they pay for it? Why did they pay for it? Because it wasn't like, oh, I'm paying for some underage sex tapes that's out there. No. His wife was on the fucking tapes. So he didn't want his wife image out there, even though she don't give two shits about him now. But he always made sure he didn't want her being disrespected. Then it says in 2019, federal prosecutors secured an indictment against Kelly. The 13 counts included in the superseding indictment comprise 4 for producing child pornography, 3 for receiving child pornography, 5 for inducing each of Jane, Pauline, Nia, Brittany, and Tracy. Stop. So he was acquitted of receiving child pornography. He was acquitted of producing child pornography. Why is it in this reply or this judgment? For some reason, they found him guilty for Jane, Pauline, and Nia, I believe. Brittany and Tracy got dismissed. Then it says to engage in sexual activities, and 1 for obstructing justice in the state case. Oh, God. I thought he was acquitted of that, which he was. At the trial, the government put 3 videos of Jane and Kelly into evidence. Watch this. Each depicted oral sex. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. The three that they put in evidence, the government said, we don't know the chain of custody and we don't know the authenticity of these tapes. And then the one that they did play, I was told that one of the guys said, yo, this was Rashona, this was Drea, and this was Robert. So where are they getting this from? Then it says the jury convicted Kelly of inducing Jane, Pauline, and Nia. I told y'all, right? The jury convicted Kelly of inducing Jane, Pauline, and Nia to engage in sexual activities and convicted him on the 3 child pornography production counts corresponding to the 3 videos and evidence. No. The jury ain't to do that. Judge Levenweber did that. Because when the jury came back and said, do you want us to follow the guidelines? Judge Levenweber said yes. And they said, okay, so we have a question. They both agreed, prosecution and defense, both agreed that if R. Kelly was on tapes A, B, and C, then convict him guilty. But if he wasn't on tapes A, B, and C, then convict him not guilty. And then give him not guilty. Judge Levenweber said change and to or, which changes the whole case. Because now it goes from, if you don't see Robert Sylvester Kelly on tapes A, B, and C, then convict him guilty. Right? Or if you do, if you do see him on there, A, B, and C, then convict him guilty. If you don't see him on A, B, and C, then convict him not guilty. It changes from that to if you see Robert Sylvester Kelly on A, B, or. Feel me? So I'm lost. No, I'm sorry, but I stand corrected. He changed or to and, not and to or. I stand corrected. He changed or to and. So when you say that brings everything together. When you say or, that gives every tape their own standing. And Robert Kelly was on the tapes A, B, and C with his wife, him, and Jane. But what they're not saying is that Jane was grown when it happened. So where is the underage tape at? This is what nobody talking about. Where is the underage tape at? So it goes to okay. It goes to engage in sexual activities and convicted him on the 3 child pornography production counts corresponding to the 3 videos and evidence, right? The jury acquitted Kelly on the other 7 counts. At Kelly's sentencing, the district court calculated a guidelines range of 135 to 168 months imprisonment based on Kelly's criminal history category 3. But hold on. He don't have a criminal history. So stop. Because because this judge St. E's telling herself. At Kelly's sentencing, the district court calculated a guidelines range of 135 to 168 months imprisonment based on Kelly's criminal history category 3. Right? Now watch this. That's why they needed New York to go first. So they can give Kelly all type of charges. Robert haven't had a criminal history in 50-something years. So you wait 50-something years just to get a criminal history? Stop. So now do it make sense why Chicago appeal jumped out there first? Because now Chicago appeal is going to play piggyback with New York appeal, and they're going to bounce from each other. Oh, well, Chicago denied him, so we got to deny him because Chicago did this. And Chicago will say, oh, no, because New York did this and this and this and that. Pay attention. The 2 most corrupt cities in America, along with D.C., is piggybacking off of one another, showing you their corruption. Then it says, and his offense level 31. A significant factor at sentencing was Kelly's 2022 conviction for similar conduct in New York and corresponding 30-year sentence. Stop. The district court grappled at length with its discretion to run its sentence concurrently or consecutively with the New York sentence. After considering Kelly's likely lifespan, the nature and circumstances of his crimes, Kelly's history and characteristics, deterrence, the need to protect the public from Kelly, and mitigating factors like Kelly's own childhood abuse, the district court varied upwards from the guidelines to impose a sentence of 240 months. As a practical matter, though, the sentence added just 12 months to Kelly's incarceration. The district court ordered the other 228 months to run concurrently with the New York sentence. Kelly appealed. I got a question. Watch this. Watch this. I got a question. If Kelly Chicago 228 months run concurrently with the New York sentence, right? If New York get overturned totally, do that 228 follow the New York sentence since it's running concurrently? Here's the problem that I'm having. What up, Shank? If Kelly 228 is running concurrently with New York, if New York is totally overturned, where that 228 go? Because they told you right here. But they said they gave him an upward sentence of 240 months as a practical matter to run concurrently with a 30-year sentence. And then it says the sentence just added 12 months to Kelly's incarceration. Hey, Shank, can you help me out with this? Because I want to know. See, I ain't too ashamed to sit back and say, I don't know. But if the 228 is running concurrent with New York, 30 years, and if New York could get overturned, since they were smart or trying to be smart and gave Kelly a 12-month on top of that 228, do the 228 fall off if the whole of New York is overturned? Then it says analysis. Kelly raises 3 arguments on appeal. 1, a statute of limitations excuses him from liability on these 6 counts. Then it says 2, the district court should have severed his trial so that one jury decided the charges relating to Jane and another the rest of the charges. And 3, his sentence is improper both procedurally and substantially, which is true. A, statute of limitations. Today, the statute of limitations for sex crimes against children extends through the life of the victim. Key word, today. Key word, today. The key word is today. So when they go get him, or when they went and got him, that statute still stood that the statute of limitations ran out. They want to use nowadays statute of limitation on him when the crime allegedly took place 20 years and before they passed that law. Or should I say, and before they pass that so-called law, because it only stands in Chicago. So it says the text could not be clear on that. No statute of limitations that would otherwise preclude precautions for an offense involving the sexual or physical abuse or kidnapping of a child under the age of 18 years shall preclude such prosecution during the life of the child or for 10 years after the offense, whichever is longer. He's past that. 10 years after that, she would have been what, 26? Rashona, what, 37 now? This just happened 2 years ago, last year. Stop. Then it says 18 USC 3283. Jane, Pauline, and Nia are still alive. Indeed, all 3 testified at trial. So if the present day statute applies here, the verdict against Kelly is safe from a statute of limitations challenge. It is not. Because you can't use a new statute, and you can't use a new statute on something very, 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 very old that passed statute of limitations. Statute of limitations on that is 5 years. She had to be 21. Since y'all say that it happened and when she was 16. If you're saying that it happened and when she was 14, then that means that she had to be 19 and to file these charges. She's 37. She's 37. Now, here's my thing. Am I saying that abuse to minors is okay? No, I'm not. But at the same token, we don't know what really happened. They don't know what really happened. The only people that know is the people that was there. So let me ask you this question. Since that's the case, if Roshona Landfair wasn't induced, enticed, and coerced by the government, let's go deeper. If the government didn't obstruct their own case just to get a conviction on R. Kelly, then would Roshona have ever said that that was her on the tape? That part, Stephanie. But I'm going to go deeper than a double jeopardy joint. If they never would have gave her a lifetime supply in food stamps, if they never would have gave her a lifetime supply in Section 8, right? If they never would have did none of that, if they never would have gave her a lifetime, well, if they never would have moved her family from Chicago to upscale Los Angeles free of charge, if they never would have promised her $20 million, do you think she would have said anything that's her on the tape? Mind you, she was still with Rob up until the day that they came and got him. Now, did that sound like a victim? Or Roshona 39? She'll be 40 in September? Make it make sense. So the statute of limitations have been gone for that. Even if you interpret it wrong, you still out of bounds. And then it says Kelly has also appealed that sentence. So it says Kelly, though, asks us not to apply it, instead submitting that a previous version of the statute with a shorter limitations period governs his case, which is facts. The old limitations governs that because it happened then, not the new limitations. That's facts. They tell the truth. Then it says, recall that Kelly's abuse of these victims took place in the 1990s and early 2000s. At that time, prosecutors had to move faster. The statute of limitations barred prosecutions after the victim's 25th birthday. So hold on, watch this. How old is Roshona again? How old is Roshona again? EJ? If this case was brought in 2022, we are now in 2024. And if Roshona is 39 now, that means she was 37 then, like I said, right? So if the prosecutors had to move faster, the statute of limitations barred prosecutions after the victim's 25th birthday. If she was 37, ain't 37 after 25? So don't that mean that this prosecution should have been barred? Make this make sense. The prosecution should have been barred. But then it says the law changed to the above quoted version in 2003 with the Protect Act, thereby extending the window to the life of the victim. Watch this. So if it was changed in 2003, hold on. Please stop calling me. I will call you back. I'm live. So if it was changed in 2003, right? You still is out of time. Because that means that you had to bring charges during that time. What up, Lex? See, I'm not sitting here talking about, oh no, are you protecting the pedophile? Ain't nowhere in this joint say he a pedophile. And let's be correct. A pedophile is a person that preys on children 12 and under. So if we're going to use things in proper text, if we're going to use it in proper term, let's use it all the way around the board. Stop saying you black. Stop saying a person is a pedophile because they dealt with somebody but that's in their teens. Stop saying that this person is illiterate, trying to make it a cracking joke when illiterate means you can't read. Stop saying that this person is ignorant, trying to be funny when ignorant means you don't know. Let's keep it a buck. But then let's go here. I got one question to ask. And I think I need to ask lawyers this. When they get cases like this, why don't they take it to an Article 3 court? Instead of going to the district courts and appellate courts, why not go to an Article 3 court? I got to understand. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to figure something out real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this person on the line. Let me see something. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something.
Oh, what's up?
And what's up, bro?
Here at Possum Kingdom with some friends of mine from Odessa.
Okay. Let me ask you this one quick question. And because I'm reading the appellate court's a decision on a R. Kelly, and pretty much they didn't do anything except for regurgitate what the government said. So I have a question. Couldn't his lawyer take this case now to an Article 3 court?
Well, they don't have jurisdiction to do so. These lawyers ain't nothing but debt collectors, remember? It don't matter if it's federal or whatever damn court they're holding it in. They're just debt collectors. Every court case has a debt associated with it.
So how can he get this case in Article 3 court?
He got to move his own court. What he does is just like I've showed y'all before. Mm-hmm. You go after the man or the woman who's acting in a capacity of, you know.
Okay.
That would have been the prosecutor.
Right.
You default the prosecutor, and now you got your claim. There's nothing to argue. A claim always prevails over a complaint. So, wow. Have I given you my writ of habeas corpus?
No.
Expressing the trust?
No, you got to send it to me.
I'll send it to you. I'll send you a copy. You'll just have to correct.
Oh, okay.
Hide out the information, the personal information.
Uh-huh.
This old boy I got out on 7 felony charges.
Okay.
So I probably got it in my email. So give me Maybe about 30 minutes the most.
Take your time.
My emails, and I'll send it over to you. But the problem you got with this is he's going to have to fire his attorney, or his attorney is going to claim to represent him. Okay. And the thing with that is they won't represent him. That's why my son's locked up right now. He went through and would not listen to me. Mm. And the judge likes the writ habeas corpus and all that stuff, but what can you do about it when he's a ward of the court?
Right.
So.
Right, and it don't make it no better when a person can't read or write. So.
Right. But remember, the jurisdiction of the court can be challenged at any time.
Okay.
And this is what it does: it expresses the trust, and it's properly. There's two ways to properly challenge the jurisdiction of the court, and one of them is expressing the trust, and the other one is your Sixth Amendment right to know the nature and cause of the action of the charges against you.
Right. What are you doing next Saturday?
As far as I know, I ain't got nothing lined up for next Saturday.
All right, I got to get you on live because we got to talk about this judge up in New York, but that said the Second Amendment don't work in her court.
Well, essentially, okay. The thing is you're going to have to express the trust because you're dealing with the trust. Is the man lawfully detained or unlawfully detained is the question. But you've got to do a separation. That's why the writ of habeas corpus is so powerful, because it's a clear separation expressing the trust and deciding whether he's being detained unlawfully. So they have no claim against the man.
Right.
That's why it works so powerful.
Right. All right, but I'm gonna let you.
We're gonna put Andrew to work. We're gonna make him cut his own fish.
But I'm gonna let you get back to your folks, man. But definitely, but I'll probably call you Monday.
All right.
All right. All right. Woo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Woo. Look, I think I'm gonna run back that video I did between me and Ro, and before next Saturday, because next Saturday gonna be powerful because we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, and the stuff that we talk about, you're gonna see why certain people move in certain ways when they go to court, and this and this and this and this. Where was I at? Whew, that was kind of deep. And it's it says the law changed to the above quoted version of 2003. Good night, Colton. Version 2003 with the Protect Act, thereby extending the window to the life of the victim. By that time, Jane, Pauline, and Nia had all turned 18, though none had yet turned 25. Therefore, then the Protect Act passed in 2003. The government could have prosecuted Kelly for the abuse he had perpetrated against Jane, Pauline, and Nia while they were underage. Excuse me. Even though the ongoing contact was not the illegal inducement of a minor. What? Even though the ongoing contact was not the illegal inducement of a minor. Okay. Putting the pieces together, Kelly maintains that the old pre-2003 statute of limitations should control. Facts. All the inducement of minors in this case, he points out, took place when he could expect a more genuine statute of limitations. The law does not support Kelly's position. As a threshold matter, it is not unconstitutional to apply a newer statute of limitations to old conduct when the defendant was subject to prosecution at the time of the change. Watch this. Now they just stuck their foot in their mouth because it says as a threshold matter. So now a threshold matter is a debate matter. It says it is not unconstitutional to apply a newer statute of limitations to old conduct when the defendant was subject to prosecution at the time of the change. Now watch this. When was R. Kelly subject to prosecution in 2003? I'll wait. When was he subject to prosecution? Because if you talking about and in 2001 when he went to trial and all that, listen, he wasn't subject to prosecution. He was found not guilty. So how was he subject to prosecution? Then it says similarly, situated defendants have argued the Constitution's prohibition on retroactive punishment bars this sort of change without success. See e.g. United States versus Gibson. Kelly has no constitutional argument that survives those cases. Ooh, hold on. How you figure that? So, like Rose said, this is about the trust. This is not about him. They don't give a hell about the man. This is about the trust. So instead, he argues the district court misinterpreted the statute to reach conduct like his that predated its passage, a contention that hinges on the presumption against statutory retroactivity. Landgraf versus USI Film Production. We accesses arguments like this one in two stages. A court's first task is to determine whether Congress has expressly prescribed the statute's proper reach, which it didn't. If so, we carry out Congress' wishes. If not, we must determine whether the new statute would have retroactive effect. No, it shouldn't be a new statute. That goes for him. It should be the old statute because you're trying to bring old charges into new stuff or old allegations into new statutes. No, it should be old allegations into old statutes. And if it would, the traditional presumption teaches that it does not govern. By way of example, a statute that would impair rights a party possessed when he acted or increase a party's liability for past conduct brings that presumption into play. Here, Congress has spoken clearly, instructing us to apply the statute across the board. No statute of limitations that would otherwise preclude prosecution for child sexual abuse shall preclude such prosecution during the life of the child. 18 U.S.C. 3283. If we agree with Kelly, we would be applying the pre-2003 statute to preclude prosecution during the life of the child. ID. The statute commands otherwise, unambiguously and with no reservations. It is not for us to second guess that directive. None of Kelly's arguments to the contrary persuade us. First, he points to the shall language in the statute. Shall preclude such prosecution. Emphasis added. Seizing on that one word, he urges that the word shall is a sign of the future tense. Martin versus Hunter's Lisi, 14 U.S. 304, 314, 1816. While shall does point to the future, Here it points to a future prosecution rather than future conduct. 3283. The prosecution Kelly complains of took place 20 years after the Protect Act passed. Make this make sense? The prosecution Kelly complains of took place 20 years after the Protect Act passed. So after the Protect Act passed, right? Listen, 20 years. That means he falls under the old statutes, not the new joint, not the Protect Act. It thus falls well within the statute's forward-looking scope. It does not. It does not. Second, Kelly directs us to the statute's legislative history, but legislative history can never defeat unambiguous statutory text. Boston versus Clayton County, 590 U.S. 644 and 678, 2020. This statute is ambiguous, and even if some ambiguity lingered, the legislative history does not help Kelly. He points out that an earlier version of the bill used different language applied to the prosecution of any offense committed before, on or after the date of enactment of this section. Child Abduction Prevention Act, H.R. 1104, 108th Congressional 202, 2003. The final version of the law did not include that language. Though Kelly asserts this proves Congress did not want the statute to apply to his case. A fuller picture of the statute's history belies that notion. Senator Leahy, who pushed to cut the language, did so to alleviate his doubts about the bill's constitutionality, since it would have revived the government's authority to prosecute crimes that were previously time barred. That's what y'all doing. That's what y'all doing. Because Kelly was subject to prosecution in 2003. The Constitution was never at issue here. So this change to the bill does not help him. That's a lie. Because Kelly was subject. Okay, hold on. Black Law Dictionary defines subject as an individual matter that is the object of legislation. For example, the constitutions of several states require that every act of the legislator relate to one subject, which is expressed in their title of the statute. It don't make sense. Like I said, I know I ain't crazy. So how is he subject? Come on, man. You ain't gonna get me like that. Stop. You ain't gonna get me like that. He got to get time served. They debating about statutes. Right. By reaching this conclusion about 3283's temporal range, we find ourselves in good company. Faced with the same statute, the Ninth Circuit held that Congress evinced a clear intent to extend the statute of limitations applicable of sexual abuse crimes. United States versus Leo Shurchev, 438 3D 920 924, Ninth Circuit. In like vein, the Eighth Circuit reached the same conclusion about a precursor statute of limitations under what was then 18 USC 3509, which used nearly identical language. This is the pre-2003 version of the statute Kelly asks us to apply. See United States versus Jeffries. No statute of limitation that would otherwise preclude prosecution for an offense involving the sexual or physical abuse of a child under the age of 18 years shall preclude such prosecution before the child reaches the age of 25. There you go. There you go. If you don't prosecute them before they 25, you can't use that. Because Congress specified that 3283 reaches Kelly's conduct, we need not to opine on the second step. We turn then to his second point of error, severance. Kelly faults the district court for conducting a singular trial on all the charges against him and denying his motion to sever the counts involving Jane from the rest, including his abuse of Pauline and Nia. Kelly complains of a prejudicial spillover impact of the video evidence relating to Jane on the other counts. He also asserts a coerced testimony. He also asserts a coerced testimony theory. Watch this. Claiming that he would have liked to testify about the Nia and Pauline conduct, but opted not to for fear of cross-examination about the Jane videos. Stop. So I'm going to ask this question. Because this judge wrote this good. So Judge St. Ives or St. James, St. Luke, St. John, and whatever the hell you are, why you ain't touching on the coerced testimony for Jane and for Jane's mother? Let's make this make sense. Not only is it double jeopardy, but why you ain't talking about the coerced testimony for Jane and Jane's mother? Also, you ain't talking about the coerced testimony for Tracy. Claiming that he would, okay, I'll talk about that. The federal rules of criminal procedure contemplate joinder of charges in most cases. The indictment or information may charge a defendant in separate counts with two or more offenses. Fed R. Crim P8A. Sometimes, though, severance is in order. If the joinder appears to prejudice a defendant or the government, the court may order separate trials of counts. Fed R. Crim P14A. District court judges enjoy wide discretion in determining when the prejudice of joinder outweighs the benefits of a single trial. United States versus Jett. Kelly spillover and coerced testimony theories are two ways a defendant might show the prejudice Rule 14 requires. But here, neither theory prevails, especially under the applicable abuse of discretion standard of review. That's a lie. A heavy burden falls on Kelly, who must establish that the denial of severance actually prejudiced him by preventing the jury from arriving at a reliable judgment as to guilt or innocence. United States versus Irwin. At the outset, the spillover theory faces two hurdles. The dual presumptions that a jury will capably sort through the evidence and will follow limiting instructions from the court to consider each count separately. United States versus Turner. Kelly can surmount neither. When the trial reached its end, the jury did capably sort through the videos. It acquitted Kelly on 7 counts. And whereas here, the jury returns a guilty verdict on only some of the counts charged in the indictment, we can be confident that the jurors were able to sift the evidence and to weigh the merits of each count separately. United States versus Peterson. Further still, the district court instructed the jury, you must consider each charge separately. Your decision on one charge, whether it is guilty or not guilty, should not influence your decision on any other charge. We presume juries follows instructions. And nothing here suggests otherwise. The jury was properly instructed and discharged its duty with care, acquitting on 7 counts. The coerced testimony theory fares no better. A defendant advancing such a theory must make a convincing showing that he has both important testimony to give concerning one count and the strong need to refrain from testifying on the other. Kelly never identifies that testimony he would have given about Pauline and Nia. In the same way, he never explains why there was an especially strong need not to testify about Jane. Kelly has failed to make any showing, much less a convincing one. The district court did not abuse its discretion. The court took care to properly instruct the jury to consider the evidence for each count on its own merits. In turn, the jury did its part, convicting Kelly on 6 of the 13 counts. They didn't, because they was instructed different. Sentencing. That leaves the sentencing, which Kelly challenges on 3 fronts. 2 procedural, 1 substantive. First, Kelly disagrees with the district court's discussion of acquitted obstruction of justice conduct at sentencing. Second, he takes issue with the district court's reference to present day guidelines ranges, which punish sex crimes more harshly than those in place when he committed the offenses, and imposing the variance up to 240 months. Finally, or more generally, he contends that the sentence is too harsh as a substantial matter. On acquitted conduct, Kelly concedes, as he must, that district courts may include such conduct in the calculation without offending due process. United States versus McClinton. Instead, he quarrels with the district court statement. What? Instead, his quarrel lies with the district court statement at sentencing that there certainly was evidence that I could find by preponderance that he obstructed justice. What? As Kelly notes, relevant conduct at sentencing may include uncharged or acquitted conduct as long as the court makes specific findings identifying the relevant conduct based on the preponderance of the evidence. So how can they find obstructed justice and say he obstructed justice when he was acquitted of that? If the jurors couldn't find, now see, this is what gets me. If the jurors couldn't find that he obstructed justice, then how can you find that he obstructed justice? But then just before that, and you said the jurors did their part, that they are great people and that they followed in the guidelines. Well, if they follow the guidelines and they couldn't find that Robert obstructed justice, how in the hell can you find that Robert obstructed justice? Now, something ain't right. Either the jurors were paid and wrong or you just paid and wrong. Which one? Or both? Make this make sense. Kelly's argument boils down to a complaint that the district court included acquitted conduct and without making those specific findings. Like other procedural challenges to sentencing, we reviewed de novo. United States versus Rollerson, 7 F 4th 565 570. The transcript defies Kelly's characterization, for the district court never relied on any obstruction of justice as relevant conduct. Rather, it soundly grounded the sentence in the 18 U.S.C. 3553A factors. The district court expounded on the seriousness of the offense, Kelly's history and characteristics, and the prospects of deterring Kelly and protecting the public from similar offenses in the future. The district courts aside that it could find obstruction by a preponderance does not undermine the district court's evaluation of the 3553A factors. It does, which justifies the sentence and supplies the adequate rationale. Now watch this. If y'all can sentence him after he's been acquitted just by preponderance, right? Why don't that undermine the district court's evaluation? What up, Midas Spade? Why don't that undermine the district court's evaluation? So it don't justify the sentence, and it don't supply an adequate rationale. The district court thought it unnecessarily to make such a finding precisely because it had chosen not to rely on obstruction of justice in imposing Kelly's sentence. Excuse me. The district court's variance from the advisory guidelines range is likewise free from error. What? After correctly calculating Kelly's guidelines range, using the guidelines in place at the time Kelly committed the offenses, the court gestured at the current version of the guidelines. It stated, because of the increase in the current guidelines, in all probability, if I was sentencing Mr. Kelly, I would probably give him a sentence in the neighborhood of 240 months. It explained that this represents a variance upwards from the top end of the guidelines, which was 168. So the district court properly calculated the range and then used the current guidelines to justify a variance. Nah, that's crazy. We have held, as Kelly acknowledges, that a sentencing court may consider subsequent guideline amendments for certain purposes. United States versus Code 220, 573, 578. These co-establish include considering later added aggravating elements and considering later amendments as guidelines for determining how much of a departure is warranted. We went so far as to add that reference to subsequent amendments may be one of the best ways a sentencing court can be assured that the magnitude of a departure is consistent with the sentencing scheme envisioned by Congress. By extension, changes to the guidelines may also inform a variance. Variances have supplemented the departure co-envisioned now that the concept of a departure is obsolete and beside the point after United States versus Booker 543 U.S. 220, United States versus Gardner 939 F 3rd 887. Yet district courts can still take guidance from the departure provisions and apply them by way of analogy. United States versus Pankow, 884, 3D 785 793. It follows that updates to the guidelines may justify variance, as the district court did here, tying its variance to the sentencing scheme envisioned by Congress in one of the best ways possible. Code 220, 3D 578. That was no error. This is crazy. We review the substantial reasonableness of Kelly's sentencing only for abuse of discretion. Rollerson, case law. A sentence substantive reasonableness turns on the totality of the circumstances. This is weird, including the extent of any variance from the guidelines range. Gall versus United States, 552, case law. Kelly challenges the 72 months added to the high end of his guidelines range. That challenge is beside the point. What matters most is the 30-year New York sentence. What I tell y'all? What did I sit here and tell y'all? I told y'all that they was going to piggyback off each other. What did I tell you? The challenge is besides the point. What matters most is the 30-year New York sentence, which the district court called the elephant in the room. What I tell y'all? Chicago jumped out there first. Because they want to put everything on New York. But Chicago were the first ones to go get them. And Chicago was the first ones to go get him, even though New York pushed the button first. So it says the sentence Kelly ultimately received was fashioned with the New York sentence in mind. Kelly's nominal above guideline sentence cannot be fairly assessed without reference to its running concurrently with the New York sentence. What I tell you? What I tell you? What looks like 240 months for this Illinois conduct is what that context, more like 12. What did I tell y'all? Even though that, even without that, though, the district court did not abuse its discretion in imposing an above guideline sentence. In its words, the natures of Kelly's offense is horrible, horrific. It considered Kelly's arguments and mitigation and weighed the 18 U.S.C. 3553A factors in detail. We will not second guess that exercise of discretion. Conclusion. An even-handed jury found Kelly guilty, acquitting him on several charges even after viewing those abhorrent tapes. No statute of limitations saves him, and the resulting sentence was procedurally proper, and especially under these appealing circumstances, substantially fair, affirmed. Wow. 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 I don't know, y'all. So with that being said, man, we cannot let up. We can't let up. Everything I've been saying from day one, there it is. They want the assets that come from him. I'm just saying. You got to keep Prey alive, man, and you got to keep Rob alive. This is crazy. On that note, y'all have a good night, man. I'm gone. Peace.
us to experience. So,
oh, before I get out of here, I must say, free R. Kelly. Dream Team stay grounded. And let's support these content creators, y'all. Because you never know when they're going to run into a situation. Support your content creators that you support. Don't support the scammers, but support the content creators that you're going to support. All right? Like I said, you never know when these content creators are going to run into something. On that note, Dream Team for life. You don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. Be someone important. Be yourself. Love every last one of y'all. And remember, without y'all, there wouldn't be no me. Until next time, I'm up out of here. Chill. DanaJay gone.
More for us to experience. So,
Black girl, white girl, Asian too. A Jamaican that let her make me Cajun soup. Got a cougar that calls shorts Daisy Duke. And she say she knew Snoop since 82. Got a classy bitch that always wanna go on a date. A professional that love to do real estate. Got a young bitch that always send me ZELLE requests. Got a scammer bitch that call me from the jail collect. Got a LA bitch that thinks she a Kardashian. Got a New York bitch that give me fashion tips. My Latina from Miami fuck me passionate. But my Atlanta bitch fuck me like she mad and shit. Got a girl with good credit, got one in debt. But the one that's in debt give me good sex. Got a stewardess that only fly planes and jets. Got a hippie smoke weed, do shrooms and next. Oh man. Wow. It's Sean. Shit don't stop.
Sometimes a misty rain.